Thank you. I'd now like to bring up Assemblyman Francisco Moya.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Julissa. Thank you, Comptroller, for being here today, along with all of my colleagues. It's very strange to be standing here on the very corner where a brutal murder took place just a few days ago. This type of intolerance is something that we have to stop. In the city of New York, where we've seen a spike throughout this year of hate crimes, it's risen almost 70%. We have to come together, not just as elected officials and community leaders, but as a society, and denounce these heinous acts. This brutal attack that took place a few days ago is just another one of the stories that we read every day happening in the city of New York. We have to take action. We have to educate our community that we won't tolerate any of these types of hate crimes. We've seen it all too often. It is our responsibility to put an end to this. We have come a long way here in New York. We have led the way in the nation as being one of the most progressive states in the world, in this country. We've passed marriage equality, but still we continue to see the fact that the hate crimes that have happened in the LGBT community continues to climb. So I'm here today to say that we need to stop this. We need to come together. We need to educate our community, and we need to heal as a city and ensure that every citizen and every person that walks these streets should never fear for their lives. Something that can happen in broad daylight like this should never happen again. And we will do everything possible that this does not occur again. I'd like to applaud the NYPD for their great efforts here in collaring this individual, in arresting him, and continuing to serve our community and protect all of us, no matter where we come from. And I think that's one of the great things about New York, and a great thing about this city, is that we've come together to say no, that we will not tolerate this, and we will denounce any type of action that goes against our citizens. Quiero agradecer a todos que están aquí. Estamos aquí para denunciar este acto que ha pasado aquí. Vemos que estos actos de crimen contra la comunidad LGBT, los actos de crimen que hemos visto, ya tenemos que parar este tipo de acción contra nosotros. No importa de dónde viene, ustedes tenemos que estar juntos para nosotros tener la habilidad de correr como una ciudad, como somos todos inmigrantes aquí. Tenemos que estar juntos para denunciar este tipo de acto. Esto es algo que nosotros no podemos tolerar y no vamos a hacer eso. Vamos a trabajar para que nunca pase una tragedia como esta otra vez. Gracias.
Thank you, Francisco Moya. Assemblyman Mike Dendecker.
Thank you, Council Member. I'd like to thank both Councilmember Danny Drummond and Councilwoman Julissa Ferreras for putting this event together. Once again, an innocent life has been taken from his family, friends, and our community due to ignorance, prejudice. It is just cannot be tolerated. Hatred is infesting our society like a cancer, and it must be eradicated. Society must stand up and not allow this to happen. And we can. We need continuing education. We need more tolerance among the communities of this great city. And we look to our leadership. Your elected officials are here today to say this must stop. It must stop now. We have passed legislation to make hate crimes a more serious crime because it must not be tolerated. I applaud the police department for their immediate apprehension and arrest of the suspect. My thoughts and prayers are with the families of this horrific attack, and I trust that our district attorney will prosecute this person, this suspect, to the fullest extent of the law under the hate crime legislation that has already been enacted. Thank you.
Just before I introduce the next speaker, I want to just say that Assemblyman Dedenecker hit on a topic that is of major importance to me, having been a New York City public school teacher for 22 years. And that is to ensure that our youth are educated that these types of hate crimes that are unacceptable, that in our youth's minds we must change the mentality that says that simply because a lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender person makes a pass at you or in some way wants to date you or whatever it is totally unacceptable to attack them physically, verbally, or in any way simply because they have made their interest in dating you known. And that is at the root of what the thinking of this individual was as well. So whatever the mental state of this individual, somewhere along the line, he learned that he thought it would be acceptable to say that he attacked this person because they made a pass at him. That is wrong, and that must change. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up Fausto Rodriguez, a community board member from Community Board 3 and a local businessman here in the area.
Buenos días a todos. Esto es un mensaje al mundo. Yo nací diferente y mi diferencia tiene que ser respetada. Si yo soy gay, homosexual, no importa, yo nací con el derecho de ser y todo el mundo tiene que respetarme. Nacemos con un derecho en la tierra único y ese me pertenece. Independientemente a lo que yo seleccione ser, tiene que ser respetado mi derecho. I also have to thank the police department of New York for that great job that they did. As I said before, respect, we have to teach people that we all were born different and that difference has to be respected. Thank you very much.
Now I'd like to ask Karina Claudia Betancourt, the lead organizer from Make the Road New York, to say a few words.
Gracias a todos por estar aquí hoy. Mi nombre es Karina Claudio, soy con Se Hace Camino en Nueva York. Yo creo que es bien importante, ¿verdad?, reiterar que Ever Orozco no era gay, ¿verdad?, pero que la homofobia como quiera lo mató. Y realmente la homofobia ha matado a muchas personas y la transfobia también. En el 2008 vimos en nuestra comunidad en Bushwick cómo mató a José Sukusañay cuando estaba caminando de brazo con su hermano, ¿verdad? Y es bien importante, ¿verdad?, saber que aunque te identifiques como una persona LGBT o no, la homofobia y la transfobia mata, ¿verdad? Y eso es lo que estamos tratando de hablar en el día de hoy y decir, por eso Se Hace Camino en Nueva York, está en las escuelas de Jackson Heights, estamos educando a los jóvenes sobre cómo combatir la homofobia y la transfobia en el salón de clases, en sus escuelas. Por eso estamos combatiendo los negocios que están discriminando en contra de las personas LGBT y no les están dando trabajo. Yo sé que la policía hizo un gran trabajo, pero también estoy aquí con miembros de la comunidad hoy que han sido víctimas de transfobia y homofobia por parte de la policía, ¿verdad? Por eso estamos luchando también para que se implementen y que se puedan, ¿verdad?, implementar el Community Safety Act, que son un paquete de leyes que logramos pasar gracias a muchos concejales, a Daniel Drum y a muchos de los concejales que son nuestros aliados, ¿verdad?, que protegería a las personas LGBT de discriminación por parte de la policía, investigaría también la homofobia y la transfobia sistemática que a veces sucede, ¿verdad?, en la misma policía. So I'm here today with Make the Road New York, and I just want to say that Ever Orozco was not gay. But that's not the message here. The message is that whether you identify as LGBT or not, homophobia and transphobia kills, right? And this is why Make the Road is here in Jackson Heights in our schools, educating our young people about how to combat homophobia and transphobia in their classrooms and in their communities. This is why we stand up against businesses who discriminate against the LGBT community and don't give them jobs. And I do want to thank the NYPD for the great job that they've done, but I also want to make sure, I'm here today with some community members who have been victims of homophobia and transphobia in the hands of the police. So we want to make sure that the Community Safety Act is implemented. It's a package of laws that, thanks to Daniel Drum and other council members who are who are with us and who are our allies just passed, and we want to make sure that this is implemented so that the police doesn't discriminate against LGBT community based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and so that we can investigate systematic transphobia and homophobia on the counts of the police. So thank you very much for being here today. Thank you, Danny, and thank you, Julissa Ferreras, for organizing this press conference.
I just want to mention also that Make the Road New York and the Anti-Violence Project will be going into a number of the gay bars along Roosevelt Avenue on Friday night to present them with information and to present the community members about how they can protect themselves from anti-LGBT hate crimes. And